Hey guys, it's Jessica, and today I'm going to do a kind of get ready with me. I don't know why I say kind of, a get ready with me with only Dollar Tree makeup, because over the years I've bought a lot of makeup from the Dollar Tree, and I've done hauls. I can link some of the ones I've done below. I haven't done a haul in a while, but I thought, you know what? A lot of you guys have asked, do the makeup items that you buy from the Dollar Tree actually work? Are they any good? And I would say from what I've tried, it just depends. So I picked out a bunch of ones that I feel like I see all the time at the Dollar Tree, so the likelihood of you being able to find these is higher than maybe some other ones I've found. So a lot of them are the Sassy and Chic brand, or LA Colors, LA Girl, those kinds of, actually none of these are LA Girls, mostly LA Colors, a few Wet n Wild. Actually only one, and Color Mate. So those are all brands that you see all the time at the Dollar Tree, and I wanted to try them out with you guys so you could see, okay, do they actually work, or are they not even worth the dollar that they are? So let's go ahead and try. I'm gonna try to use as many Dollar Tree items as possible. There might be a few times I pull in a brush just because I don't know how else to apply it without it. I don't wanna do this an injustice and not actually try to make it look good. I want to actually see if you can get a decent look with it. Does that make sense? So I want to do my best. Let me put something to hold my hair back. There's like makeup on this. I need to wash it. Okay, so one thing I'm not going to use today, but that I found were these Wet n Wild Under the Sheets makeup remover towelettes. I guess, I don't know, maybe I will have to use them. But I thought that was pretty cool that they were there, and there's 10 of them in there for $1. I also found this like nail polish remover thing where you can put it in there, or you could put makeup remover in here. But anyway, you push this with like a cotton round and it will go up into it. And usually you can buy these already ready to go at regular stores for like $5 or more, but this is just an empty one. I thought that was so cool because then you can use any nail polish remover, makeup remover, whatever for it. So I'm excited. I didn't know they sold those. All right, so the foundation that I picked out is the Sassy and Chic Moisturizing Foundation. I got it in the shade Light 1. I don't know that there were very many shades at all. So let's give this a try. It actually looks like it might be a decent match for me. It's just in a squeezable bottle. I didn't find any brushes or anything to apply it with, and I didn't think to buy, you know, they sell like the cosmetic little wedges. So I'm just gonna apply this with my fingers and then just blend it in with a brush, and I'll use a drugstore brush. It feels really, actually the texture, it feels a little bit thicker than I would have expected, but not too thick. So I'm just going to dot this down the center of my face first. I'm gonna use this brush. It's that Moda brand, the set that they sell. And I think it actually does a pretty good job. They didn't sell any primers, at least not at the Dollar Tree I was at. So it looks like it's not a bad match for me. It's covering some redness. You can see it's moisturizing. It's still showing some of my, not oil, I mean, I guess it is oil, but you can still see some life in my skin, which I like foundations like that, but I know not everyone does. Now the cheeks are where I can really tell if it's working because I've got a lot of freckles, some hyperpigmentation. I've got a breakout there. And I do like this brush, by the way, if you were curious. This set's actually really good. Okay, so you can still see some of my freckle. It definitely looks better, but I would not call this a high coverage foundation by any means. So that's after one layer. Again, you can definitely see the life in my skin. In fact, I think it made it more oily than it was. So if you are oily skin, I would stay far away. Now again, it is a moisturizing foundation. I'm gonna put a second layer on and see if we can build up some coverage here. I'm gonna start on my cheeks this time. So I do think it gave a little bit more coverage, but not that much more. So I would say it's light medium, maybe medium coverage. I do think my skin looks better than it did when I started, but it's just very oily. And I don't think, oh no, that I found a powder there. I think I remember seeing one and I should have bought it. Oh boy. So it's gonna be a really oily look. I'm gonna put a blush on. I didn't find a bronzer there, but this is a really glittery blush, and I have a feeling it's just gonna like stick. So I'm gonna see if this sets a little bit. You know what, in the meantime, let's do my brows. So I found this Color Mates brow powder, and it's in dark brown and medium brown, and it says it's long wearing, it blends easily. It has this tiny little brush I'll try to use. I haven't used a powder in a while, so there's 2 different shades. I'll start with the dark. I don't have a spoolie. Oh, this brush is pretty rough. It's not a great match for me. I want to try, I'm going to get the medium and see Actually, the medium might be better. Maybe I'll just kind of mix the two. It pulls very red. Maybe I'll just stick with the darker one because, oh my gosh. I will say, I mean, it's really pigmented. So if you don't have money for other brow powders, I mean, it certainly is filling in the brows. It's just a really bad color match for me. But like one swipe on this brow, like actually pretty much coated the entire brow. All right. So, verdict on this is that I actually don't think it's a bad powder at all. It's spread really easily. Like if you get a little bit outside, it wipes off. But I think you need a spoolie. It doesn't come with one, just to kind of brush through. And also, if you want it to be a cool kind of a brown, I didn't see anything darker than this other than maybe like black. And this is a very red look. I mean, it doesn't look horrible. It's just not what I like on myself and not what I'm used to. So it just looks a little bit different. That's all. So it just depends on the undertone you like. All right, it's set a little bit more. So let's go ahead and try the blush. This is the LA Colors Powder Blush in Peach Rose. And I'm gonna try to use the little brush it comes with. This is like the old school blushes that like every drugstore brand used to sell. Although, oh, that brush is not even. Look at this. Looks like this brush got a really bad haircut. Let's just swatch this blush first. Actually, it swatches beautifully. Look at that swatch. It's a beautiful color, and the glitter isn't as glittery as I thought it would be. You know what? I'm gonna do this justice. I'm not gonna use that. I'm gonna use a real blush brush because I wanna see how does this blush look, because I know that a lot of us at least buy maybe an e.l.f. Blush brush, something so that you can apply blush better than with that thing. I want to do this justice so we can see how it really wears. It's a pretty color. Because that brush was just not, it was just going to be in weird tiny swirls, you know? I don't think it gives as even of coverage as some other blushes. It is a lot though. So I'm going to take my foundation brush and just kind of lightly buff the edges of that to make it look a little bit better. I think that's actually a pretty decent blush. So those are the LA Colors powder blushes, by the way. Let's look at eyes and then we'll do lips. So I have a couple of options for eyes. They had a lot of eye things. I don't have an eye primer, but what I might do is take a little of this foundation, and I didn't have concealer either. I might like legitimately conceal and prime my eyes with this. You know, but I'll do it with my fingers, so hopefully it'll actually it's concealing pretty well if you do it with your finger. All right, so I kind of have evened that area out just a little bit more. I feel like I look like a wax doll right now with the way like, okay. Anyway, so I got this LA Colors Eyeshadow Nude 12 color palette. And I guess it's called Glamorous. I just liked the colors in this. A lot of them are really, really similar to each other. I also got this LA Colors Eyes, and it's in the shade Sunflower. It's like a little trio of theirs. I might have owned this in the past. I feel like I did, and I really, really liked it. I just remember it being really pigmented, maybe a little more so than the other palette I just showed is. So we'll see. I figure those are really pretty colors together. So I'm swatching the 12 color palette right now. And I have to admit, like some of them are kind of surprising me. They're not like Urban Decay, like one swipe, amazing. But some of them have more pigment than I would have guessed. And some of them don't. So it's kind of a hit or miss, and I'm sure that's true with their palettes though. Wow, they have this like bright periwinkle color that's kind of cool. So I'm going to start, now I'm gonna have to use brushes for some of this, because again, I wanna do it justice. If I can't fairly compare things like this if I'm only using a sponge tip applicator, when I do other palettes, I'm using all the brushes I own. So I want to use regular brushes with this as much as I can, because I want to see, like, if I were to use it regularly, day to day, could I make it look nice? And I hope that makes sense to you guys, because I know a lot of these videos people use only what it came with, which I get because it's fun and it's more of a challenge, but I want to see if these actually can look good. I feel like I'm repeating myself. So I grabbed just the white powder here and a fluffy brush, and I'm just kind of setting that primer that I put on my eyes, which really was just the foundation, just to kind of even it out, again, to kind of set that. And then what I typically will do once I've done that, and it does feel, let me set it a little bit more. I typically will grab some kind of a medium to light brown in my crease, and that's what I'll do. I think I'm gonna grab, it's kind of this bottom corner shade here. Again, a lot of these are really, really similar. Ooh, actually had more color than I would have guessed. And I'm just kind of putting it in my crease as a transition shade, kind of a base for that area. It's actually really pretty. It's a nice tone for this place on your eye. It's kind of it's like a light brown, but it does have more of like a almost pinky purplish pull to it, and I think that's really pretty. Now, I've done like 3 layers, but for transition shades, this is perfect because it really does give a wash of color since it's not pigmented enough to like put it and then not be able to move it. Does that make sense? So now I'm gonna grab a little bit smaller of a brush, and I'm gonna get one of the deeper shades. So maybe this like brown here. Actually, there's like this kind of burnt, kind of reddish brown right here. Let's try that one. And I'm just putting it a little bit more into the kind of outer corner, up into the crease, but not too far up. Although I accidentally inched it a little bit too far up. This has got some pretty good pigmentation too, honestly. I mean, you can see the color, that's good. Let's see how it blends. I'm taking just a fluffy brush and blending those kind of together and up. It's not terrible. So let's try one of these shades. I'm gonna try, really none of these are gonna make sense because this is kind of turned into like a purplish look. But I really wanna try one of these. Let's try like the rose bronzy gold in the middle. And I'm just gonna pat it onto my lid and we'll kind of make it work together. This is such a pretty color, isn't it? Wow. I mean, that's got some punch to it. And I pretty much always apply my lid color, whatever it is, with my finger, just because I feel like it does a better job at just being, I don't know, I just like doing it this way. So now I'm going to take more of that kind of reddish, not really, reddish brown color that we were using and blend that into that. And then I'm going to go back to my, actually we'll use maybe this color here that's right next to it to blend all of that together. This is not the most cohesive look I've ever done, but oh well. So then I'm going to take the sponge applicator in that white shade and I'm going to put it right under my brow bone. Oof, that's very white. The one good thing about sponge tip applicators is that you really can use them. I mean, they're not unusable. Ooh, that is not blending well together. So I will say that that's not, the rest of it I think blended pretty well together. I'm going to use the sponge tip applicator and I'm going to take that kind of, that shade I used on my lid and I'm going to put it on my lower lash line as well. I really do like this shade. Kind of just focusing out on the outer corner. I'm not really going too far in. I do feel like we need something on the outer corner just a little bit darker, so I'm going to take this brown that's in this trio and maybe a smaller brush, maybe a little bit more flat of a brush. This is kind of like a pencil brush. Let's try that. This is not really darkening it at all. It's kind of blending right away. So I would say with this trio, if you're trying to use it as anything but a like lid color, I don't know, like it darkened it a little bit, I just don't think. But see, I already feel like that color on my lid has faded a little bit. So there's one downside is I don't know if the staying power is very good. So let's move on. I am going to try, I have 2 eyeliners here. I have the LA Colors Auto Eyeliner in black, and it says it defines eyes with no sharpener needed. I also picked up the LA Colors Liquid Eyeliner in black, and it says it's an ultra fine tip for precise lining and control. I'm not great with liners like that, so we'll see how I do. I like felt tip ones, but that's just me. But what I usually do is I tight line with a pencil liner, so we're gonna try this LA Colors one. It does have a fine tip when you start. Seems pretty black. It's not the creamiest and it's not the blackest. So we'll see. And I feel like, you know, for a couple dollars more, you can get like the Milani one that's crazy gel-like and it's like $5. Essence has pretty good eyeliners. So I feel like for this, it's worth spending a little bit more. But let's try it. Let's try it. Yeah, it's not super black. Like at all. Like I feel like I'm going back and forth and it's like not doing anything. Yeah, this is horrible. Oh my gosh, this is like the worst eyeliner I've ever used. So I would say no, pass on this eyeliner. Let's try the liquid liner. That was really bad. That was really bad. I'm gonna shake it up really good. I don't know how long this has been sitting in the Dollar Tree. That's the other thing. You don't know how long that makeup's been sitting there. It definitely is a very fine tip. A very, very fine tip. So, oh my gosh. It's really black, but it's also really, really watery. So it's like dripping down my lashes. Does that make sense? But it is really black. I have to admit, it's all right. I mean, honestly, for me, I think it's an okay eyeliner, really, truly, and way better than the pencil. I just don't like this style of eyeliner. I'm very partial to felt tips, and so for me, this was just not easy to use because I'm just not used to using this type. Now, I think if you are used to using this type, like the NYC ones, you'll probably like it because it seemed really black. I will say it's been a while, and I feel like it's not drying down, so it's got kind of a shiny black, which again, that's not in my taste, but I know some people really like. I'm just not good at it. Like I cannot clean that wing up, so. All right, so before we do the lips, let's try lashes. So this was an LA Colors mascara. It's their Bold Lash Mascara. It says it plumps lashes. It's got a lash defining brush, and I got it in the shade Very Black. So let's give this bad boy a try. I know mascaras are tricky because even the best mascaras, sometimes the first week you're using it, it's just not great because it almost needs the air to get into it with each use to get a little bit better. It dries out just a little bit, so we'll see. But it's got a really big, big brush. We're just gonna see. So far, I feel like I'm just brushing my lashes and nothing is getting on them. Like I will agree, it's combing through my lashes, which I appreciate. I think a lot of mascaras don't. And it's nice that this one does, but I genuinely feel like I'm like barely putting anything on them. It's not doing anything. Like even on my lower lashes, you can barely see. This is weird. Let's try the other ones. I feel like this is a lash tint. Like it's hardly putting, again, I've never used a mascara this bad, ever. Usually it's the opposite and like too much is getting on, but I can't get like this to stay on my lashes. This is so weird. So mascara was a bust. I really got in there and off camera and swiped it on as much as I could. This is as bold as I'm gonna get it. It's okay. If you like a very natural lash look, you might love this, but I mean, this is as much as I can get to stick. The last part is my lips. So I have two options. I might just try both. This is the LA Colors Chunky Lip Pencil. It's a retractable lip pencil. I got it in the shade Coral Fun. I also got the LA Colors lip gloss in the shade Coral Crush, and it says it moisturizes lips with vitamin E. The packaging on the lip gloss actually looks pretty cute with the white and the gold. So I figure let's try the lip pencil and then we'll put the lip gloss on top just to be able to try both. I'm just curious. They had some lipsticks there, but I was curious. I hadn't seen the chunky lip pencil yet. So just swatching it, it's it's actually a pretty decent amount of pigment there. Let's try it. It actually feels pretty comfortable. I have to admit, I'm pleasantly surprised by this lip color. It feels like they said, it's kind of moisturizing. It feels kind of moisturizing, like a balm, but it has a lot more color than I would have guessed. Let me take this off. That's really nice. Let's try the gloss on top. I mean, something I might do in real life is just put a gloss on top. Again, this packaging is really pretty. This looks like yeah, it's more of a sheer wash type of a gloss. It does have some color to it. Let's try it. Yeah, it's just kind of, ooh, it smells really good. Kind of fruity. That smells really nice. It's not sticky. It's just kind of just glossy. I really like the smell of that. Sorry, they're doing yard work apparently, and boy, that is loud. I like it, and I actually think those look really nice together. Now, I mentioned the wipes, and I've got some swatches to wipe off. Let's try them. These are the Wet n Wild Under the Sheets 10 Makeup Remover Towelettes. Now, I've told you guys before, I really don't use wipes on my face. I pretty much only use them for swatches. I like just using like cleansing balms on my face. I feel like they tug a little less, but let's try this. Wow, it even got the eyeliner off. So, that's actually pretty good. I have to admit, I feel like sometimes you'll try them and they just don't work, but these do work. I kind of wish I would have bought a couple packs of this. So if you see these and you use them for swatches, because they do have a strong smell that's kind of like, ugh, like you maybe wouldn't want to use it on your face. I don't know. If you have used these on your face and your face has reacted well to it, please let us know down below. But it certainly got those off, as you saw, really, really well. So I kind of wish I would have bought a couple packs of these. Would have bought a few packs of these. So to sum it up, my favorite product, I thought the foundation was actually pretty good. Again, you have to have the right skin type for it. You have to be able to find your shade. You have to, you know, so there's so many things. I just wish I had a powder from the Dollar Tree to set it with. So if I were doing this for real, I would have definitely put either a powder foundation on top if I wanted more coverage, or just a loose powder to set it, something like that. You could even use the Rimmel Stay Mattes, like $4. And that powder is great at just soaking up oil, setting it, but it doesn't add a lot of coverage, but it would have been a cheap option to throw on top of this. This foundation reminds me in a way of the Wet n Wild Coverall, but the Coverall is less dewy, but it's very similar kind of, well, similar packaging, probably similar ingredients. Anyway, I was surprised pleasantly by the blush. I thought that was really nice. I really liked this trio of eyeshadow, but again, it does fade, and you can already see it's fading a little bit. The liquid eyeliner I thought was pretty good. It dried down a little bit more, but again, it still has that wet look to it, if you like that. I was very pleasantly surprised, I think maybe most of all, by the lip products. They were really nice. These are comfortable. I think it's a really nice summery, kind of juicy look for the lips. And I thought the Wet n Wild wipes were good. Now, the duds, the LA Colors eyeliner was terrible. The LA Colors Bold Lash Mascara was just not my cup of tea. It was very, very light mascara, if you like that. I just did not like the brow powder, just color-wise. I thought it was a good powder itself, just not a good match for me. And I was just kind of, I don't know, this was kind of meh for me. It wasn't horrible, but it certainly is not amazing, right? So it just depends on what you're looking for. It did a great job being a wash of color on my eyes, which I liked, but I don't think I'm gonna go buy more of these. So those are my 2 cents on all of the products. If you have recommendations for Dollar Tree products that you actually think are really, really good, please let us know down below so other people can see that, so I can see it. If you like this kind of a video, please give it a thumbs up so that I know. I hope that you'll stick around, watch some more of my affordable beauty videos, and otherwise I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.